anybody really knows this issue in the Statehouse better than I do. And he allowed the good work of the good people that have been working on it for 5 years to put everything in that bill beyond safe harbor. So we strengthened the penalties. We restored justice for the victims. If you have a criminal record and you were involved as a victim, you get your record expunged. We did much more than safe harbor. And I give credit to all my colleagues in the Statehouse. They all had a part and a role. As soon as they found out about something, they were allowed to put it in. It didn't matter if it was a Democrat or Republican. It was the coolest experience I've ever been through in my life, and in the Statehouse. And it's really a testament of really people doing the right thing when the right thing needs to be done. So with that, I am honored to introduce Governor John Kasich.
Theresa would not let go of the bill is because she doesn't want it to be screwed up. In a nutshell, I mean, she's pretty much dedicated her life to this, and I don't know that this would have happened if she hadn't been here pushing and bringing about public awareness. And frankly, this sat around too long before think about what the officer said. First of all, this guy, how about this talk he gave, huh? How about this? I've been finding this week, we did this week $5 million I've given to the mental health and the developmental disability to try to come up with some sort of a crisis response to mothers and fathers that have children or adult children that have severe mental illness. I don't know how many of you are aware of this problem. You could have someone in your family who is potentially violent because they have a mental illness. And a lot of these families, they don't have anywhere to go. And we got to try to fix that here in our state. Right before Christmas, we mandated the insurance companies to start providing coverage for autism. In fact, I just received we get ideological, there's ideology picking on you from time to time, but it is amazing how many people have found themselves in that circumstance. Play by the rules, God-fearing, and then something happens and they have a huge challenge. I want to characterize it the right way. It's a challenge. It can ultimately be a great blessing. And there are people who have struggled through that issue who, as a result, it's really interesting and enlightening, as a result of their struggles, they bring about a lot of good for many, many, many people. And then just yesterday I had the most fun. We've ended this practice of abusing these animals, puppy mill legislation. I had a dog help me to bring that into law. It was just fantastic. About a year and a half ago, I was getting out of the car, and I was frustrated about something, and my pal Mark Kwame was outside waiting for me. I got out of the car, I said, you know what, I should have just gone into the ministry, forget this stuff. And he said, you are in the ministry. At the risk, it's okay. This week has been sort of a God week for me. Helping people whose families are hit by this crisis of autism, or trying to help families that have these very difficult situations with mental illness. That's a God thing to me. I mean, I have all these people thank me. Teresa's like, thank you for what you did. Sometimes it's easy to sort of walk away or to lose focus on an issue. Now, and you shouldn't lose focus, but we're all just human beings doing the best we can. 11-year-old being pushed into prostitution. You know, people say, well, you were interested in this because I do have young kids. My girls are going to be 13, by the way, in 6 days. I hope it takes a long time for the 6 days. They say, well, you know, this is because of your kids. It's not because of my kids. I mean, I can see the world better because of my children. This isn't about my kids. This is about this living nightmare that goes on. And what's so amazing about this is it just took such a long time to put the hammer down. And I'm convinced after sitting back here for a few minutes listening to this great public servant, we have to have more things done, Theresa. We need, you know, it doesn't have to be crazy, doesn't have to be over the moon, but we have to constantly work on this issue. Because as we constantly work on this issue, it brings to the public consciousness this unbelievable problem. And so if we pass this big bill, it's, she mentioned it, you get expungement. We're cracking down. I'm going to tell you, we catch you, you're going to jail. And we got people going to jail, being prosecuted right now because of what they've done. And well, it's a horrifying thought. And so we've got this in there, but we've got to keep moving because we can do our PSAs and everything else. We've got to stay in the public eye. And I think we have to figure out how to do that. For those that are here that are social workers, you know, this is a gift. And, you know, it's interesting as I look out. I've said I just appointed a woman to the Supreme Court. And I said, you know, if you really want to bring about big change and you want to get things done, get a woman. And I'm a believer in that because I think women have a sense of justice. You know, and sometimes overrides, you know, some guys that are shaking your head, tough. Okay? But look how many women are here today to fight for the children. And so to the social workers, doubling your efforts, redoubling your efforts. At the end of your life, you'll get a message. You know, good and faithful servant, job well done, because you're sticking up for children. And we know the Lord loves children more than anything. You get in the way of a kid, and you got a big problem. So we want you to redouble your efforts. You know what I've noticed? My wife has got involved with this incredible operation here called the Catch Court, which a just judge here in Franklin County put into play. And this is a place for people who are victims to be able to climb out, to get work, to get training. And I just had the press out for Christmas lunch, and they served it. And these two women who were there, both of them had been victims, stood up and spoke. And the press will tell you. I mean, they were incredible. Just articulate and intelligent and stood up and talked, and it was impressive. Which sent a message to me that full recovery is possible. I mean, the nightmares will probably never end. But I've got to believe that full recovery is possible with the help of people like you who are in this room. And for the victims that are in this room, the Lord wants you to be healed. And it's going to take hard work, but it's there. It can happen. And to this officer who's out there trying to educate people all over the state, you have to just keep it up. And, we got, I think Tom Charles is here with the Highway Patrol. He was here at least. And, the patrol is completely committed to all these efforts, and they were involved in a big bust. And we're on this, and we're going to stay on it. Teresa's part of a statewide initiative that involves the Attorney General, who's doing great work. I mean, we're all in this. And as far as for me, this is, I'm just thrilled to be in a position where we can bring about these changes. And it's great, which means that the sun is coming up rather than the sun going down. It's coming up, and we'll keep at it. This lady, you give her a lot of hugs because Theresa never, ever flinched or ever gave up in this effort, and there's more to do. Linda, I served with in the Congress. I was shocked to see that she was doing this, but I can tell you, she may be worse than Theresa. I don't know. I haven't seen her for a while. They are dogged, and we need all of you, and we need to clean this state out. If we catch them, they're going to jail. We got to hang them up there. We want them out. Everything that we can do. And I'm glad, Linda, you've done this day, and we just keep at it. Okay, we're going to get another piece of legislation. We're going to move it through, keep talking about it, the training, everything. And our entire government is committed to this, from top to bottom. So, with these challenges, let's fill them in, and let's do the good work, right, at the end of the day. Thank you all very much.